All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. Great eye in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics never the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace up the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. Network. All sports, all plays. Network. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.
Hello, welcome to our first episode of the new year of Jock Talk. I am joined today by my man Jay over there, sporting that Arizona hat I see. So, how you doing, Jay?
Always good, man. Just happy to be here. Bring the new year in with y'all. First episodes, make it epic.
All right, and then I'm also joined by our normal guy. I will not call him by the name that he has on there because I don't think he is a loser. It's Trey. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing a lot better than last night about this time. I'll tell you that. No. I bet you do wear that name, Will. Yeah, I bet you do. I might have something up my sleeve. I might be pitching in to come back. You're not going to see me again. I have something up my sleeve. Just letting you know. But no, I'm glad to be back. 2021 is going to be better than 2020. Man, football season's ending, but we got a great college basketball. It's sports world's getting hot right now. I can't wait to talk.
Yes, it is. And of course, my name's Brandon, so I'm doing good. Glad the New Year's started, and there you go. Well, yep. I think Will's second best though, so from my count. So, anyways, all right, let's get to that first topic of the night. I believe, Nate, you got – oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. We're going to cover some Bills first. New Year, first mistake. All right. So, Misty Meadows, they're based out of Oregon, in Bandon, Oregon. The phone number is 541-347-2575. They make their homemade jams, barbecue ketchup, hot sauce, and everything's based all the ingredients are from Oregon. And you can find them on Misty Meadows on Facebook. You can also find them on mistymeadows.com. And they'd be willing to deliver anywhere you want for it to go. So, all right. So we just had our Viewer of the Month announcement a couple days ago. Congratulations to Madison. Trey, how can somebody be like Madison?
Man, you could be like a pioneer like Madison and watch every show and comment, like, share. Whoever does that the most at the end of each month gets that awesome All Sports, All Plays Sports Network T-shirt. That's all you got to do, man. Just be a part of our show. Comment, type something, share it, whatever it is, man. Just be a part of our show. And we'll be happy to send you a T-shirt.
And again, if they don't want to comment, like, or share, or comment, I'm sorry, but they want to be a part or get that shirt, how do they do that, Trey?
Easily just contact one of us three handsome gentlemen right here you're seeing right in front of you, or any one of our analysts who are out there, except for Will because he beat me twice. But no, go ahead. Contact any one of us at the All Sports All Play Network. Any analysts, we'll be happy to hit you up with one of those awesome T-shirts.
All right. And then, Jay, if people like the podcast and stuff, how can they go about doing that themselves?
If you ever been wondering how to get up and get started with your own podcast, we have a very special app called Anchor. It's all the tools you need right then and there. Kind of even walks you through what you need to do if you don't even know what. So again, if you're looking to start your own podcast, need some help, it'll put you on every single platform. Anchor's the way to go.
All right, and then our last sponsor is Black Market Coffee, another Oregon-based company. You can find them on Facebook at Black Market Coffee. All their toffees made with the finest ingredients that they find. No corn syrup, no fillers. They got the perfect delighted crunch that never sticks to your top of your gums or your teeth. And they say that it's so good that you're going to have to hide it, not just from your family, your friends, but also yourself because it's so good. So with that being said, bills are paid. Let's get on to our topics. Nate, first slide, please.
We have a slide.
Oh, I'm sorry. I do not see that on my side here. So you guys are going to have to fill me in here because I'm on a different device today. I'm sorry, guys. Oh, there we go. All right. All right. So there's our opening. All right. Welcome to Jock Talk, guys. All Sport Network. Jay, Trey, and myself. All right. All right. The Heisman. We're kind of a little late on this one. We thought it was this weekend they were going to announce it. So with that being said, Jay, did they make the right choice on the winner?
Honestly, I didn't even see who ended up getting. Who ended up?
Smith. It was Smith from Alabama, I believe.
Yeah, I've been saying it all year, haven't I, Trey? He deserved it, man. Honestly, to me, like I said last week, he sealed the deal in that championship game. The way he ended the year was just amazing to me. I mean, he knew what he was going for. He knew he was in that top 3 area of the Heisman talk, and he knew he had to go over and the top, over and above to as a wide receiver to get that. And that's what we were talking about last week, Trey. And that's when I pulled up Desmond's and I was looking at the year that he won it. I mean, bro, he smashed those numbers. And he didn't just smash them against bad teams and which, a lot of receivers would get some, garbage yards, get some bad defenses and things. And it wasn't just a crazy offense that just this dude was going up, making plays. I think it was week 3 when he did that one-handed one in the back of the end zone. Oh, man. I mean, he's done it all year long, and then the numbers are ridiculous. 1,600 yards. I think, what is it, 1,600, 20 touchdowns? I mean, it's stupid. It's stupid. He deserved it.
All right. What do you got, Trey? Trey, what do you got?
I don't like doing this, but I have to agree with Jay on this. They got it right. Me personally, I'm happy it's not a quarterback. As much as I love Trevor Lawrence and Mac Jones had a phenomenal year, Trask had a great year statistical wise until the final 3 games where he fell off a cliff. I don't know what happened to him. I guess the hype got to him. But if you watch just not even his numbers, if you just watch Smith play, if you just watch, they double team him, they triple, he still gets wide open. That guy's in and out routes are so quick. Some team, Philadelphia Eagles, if you're watching, don't pass up on Devontae Smith if you have him at 6. If he even goes that far, but this dude is a real dude. Real guy. If you just look at his last 4 regular season games, I'm not counting the Notre Dame game. I'm counting the last 4 regular season games. Against Auburn, 7 catches, 171 yards, 2 touchdowns. LSU, 8 receptions, 231 yards, 3 touchdowns. And in the SEC championship game, 184 yards on 15 catches, 2 touchdowns. This dude is the beast. I don't care. This guy's route running is remarkable. The way he goes up and he grabs the ball, the way he gets open, it's just fun to watch. And I just want to applaud the Heisman voters for actually not picking a quarterback, because if they picked a quarterback this year, we would just have to change the award. We say this every year, but this year they would have had to, because Devontae Smith is the best NCAA player there is on the face of the earth. There's no question about it. But I do want to talk about how they came about. Like they got it right with Smith. What I was shocked was who number 2 was Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence didn't have the gaudy numbers like he did. He missed 2 games. And so that just shows me that it kind of is a popularity test if you're really thinking about it. Because Mac Jones, you didn't hear anything about him until this year, because you always had Tua and Jalen Hurts and everything like that. So Mac Jones, Devontae Smith helped Mac Jones get a lot of those numbers. A lot of those were yards after catch. Devontae Smith did. So that's one of the reasons he also got it. And then Trask, he had it 2/3 of the season. He had it. And then he just went all the way down, man. So congratulations.
You don't think Travis should have been number 2?
Me personally, I love Trevor Lawrence. I think he's the best quarterback in the college. But I think Mac Jones should have been number 2.
No way. Look.
Yes.
You said it. You said it. The reason why Mac Jones can't be number 2 because of Devontae. I mean, if you switch the tape on it, what's Mac Jones' yards here? Hold on, I just had him.
Dude, 4,000.
Huh?
4,000 yards.
Yeah, and almost 2,000 of that's Devontae.
So he still had.
Trevor threw 3,200. Trevor threw 3,200 yards. 3,200, and he missed 2 games.
I'm just saying. Yeah, I'm saying Trevor Lawrence is the best quarterback in the league. I'm just saying that. But Mac Jones did a lot for this team, and he played all 10 games. No offense to Trevor Lawrence because of COVID. If he was out 2 games because of COVID, you guys put that in consideration. He was out those 2. If Trevor Lawrence did play those 2 games, then yes, I think he probably should have. Remarkable. He should have been. He probably easily could have won the Heisman. But not since he didn't, we can't say he would have when he had a good game or a bad game. That's why I had to put Mac Jones ahead of him just because of that reason. Now, don't get me wrong. Mac Jones, I don't think he's going to be an NFL stud quarterback by any stretch of the imagination. Trevor Lawrence is still the best, even though he had a crappy game. We're going to get into that a little bit later. But Devontae, that's the only reason I wanted Mac Jones over Trevor Lawrence. And I'm a Trevor Lawrence guy. I love Trevor Lawrence. I had him as a Heisman all the way halfway through the season. But what Devontae Smith did, it's just remarkable, and you're never going to see a receiver for the next couple. And what the funny thing was, going into the year, he wasn't even number 1 guy. It was Jalen Waddle. Waddle was supposed to be that guy, and he got hurt for the rest of the season. And you just saw Smith elevate his game even higher. And even when teams are coordinating against him, you just see him get better and better each week. It's just a fun thing to watch. So congratulations on your Heisman Trophy win.
Definitely.
Yep, I'm glad I didn't go to a quarterback. I mean, like Trey said, I mean, this award would have had to been renamed. I mean, I couldn't tell you the last non-quarterback to win it. Bush, I think maybe.
No, it was Ingram. Right. Ingram.
Okay.
Henry.
Okay. So but anyway, so Smith got it. Congratulations, first wide receiver to win this is Howard. So props to him, and hopefully he has a great NFL career going into the start of that, wherever he ends. All right, next slide there, Nate. All right, the Fighting Irish versus Alabama. Alabama destroys them 31-14. Trey, let's hear it.
Can I get some redemption on this, please? Notre Dame did not deserve to be in the. They were not one of the 4 best teams. Clemson showed everyone that they're all talk and no bite, basically. Well, I don't know what that saying is, but anyway, this team. What made me mad about the whole game was I kept hearing the announcers say, "Chip Kelly, oh, we're a better team than what we were 4 years ago." Were you? Because Alabama took his foot off the gas pedal in this game. Alabama could have easily scored 50, 60, 70 points on this Notre Dame team. They went slow motion in the second half. They didn't go with the sense of urgency. Notre Dame just – I don't trust Brian Kelly. And he's Notre Dame since 2000, 0-7 in BCS, NCAA playoff, those type of kind of playoff scenario, bowl games, championship games. They're 0-7. Chip Kelly has not got the job done. He's never gets the job done. And if you're Notre Dame, that's what you want. You're one of everyone loves Notre Dame. Everyone remembers Rudy, and everyone remembers the 1980 Lou Holtz and everything like that. Man, you got to win championships at Notre Dame, and for them not to win a championship since 1986 is abysmal. With the recruitment that they get, they need a better head. I love Brian. I think he's a great offensive genius. I think he's a very good NFL style kind of offensive coordinator. But Notre Dame year after year after year, their Cinderella story that always falls short, and I was proven right once again by Alabama. Now you telling me, and everyone's gonna say Cincinnati would have gone. Yeah, I'm not even constant. Oklahoma would at least scored over 20. Texas A&M, I'm sorry, would have scored over 24, 31 points on Alabama's defense. Alabama's defense is not as good as everyone portrays it to be, and Ohio State's going to show that here in the Monday night. I'll get into that a little bit later. But Congratulations to Alabama. Alabama is the better team in that. They were the best team consistently throughout the regular year and the COVID season. Congratulations, Nick Saban. I hate Alabama. I hate saying it. It tastes ugly coming out of my mouth because I don't like Nick Saban at all, but he's a good coach. But congratulations to y'all.
Man.
All right, Jay. What do you got?
Well, first off, when do we stop saying you got to win championships at Notre Dame? It's been 34 years. I mean, when are we giving too much to the expectations of this? When is it just, hey, they made it to the tourney again? Because I mean, it's 34 years. At this point, you're 100% right. They are the Cinderella story every single year that never finishes it off. And you know, and it's almost like we can call exactly how it's going to happen when it happens. At this point, it's storybooked almost. So I get you there, but maybe this is what they are. They're just a turning team, and you know they can't get over the hump. Maybe it's the recruiting. It's not the coach. You know, the coaching. You know, like you were talking about last week. You know, they are one of those schools that, you know, those athletes have to be a little bit more superb than the others to make it in there. And you know, and they have to stay up on that. So maybe this is their dance. Because, I mean, let's be honest. The athletes from, you know, 86 to where we're at today, they're substantially different. And due to that, if you're not staying in that top realm of recruitment, it's hard to win championships. It's hard. I mean, you look at a division like the Pac-12, like me and you talked about earlier in the year. I mean, they're getting dominated, you know, by these big conferences on a regular basis. They just can't hang. I mean, yeah, we had Oregon, but they just on a regular basis we just can't. It seems like so. The recruiting is a big factor, and I think that's going to be something that Notre Dame's going to have to learn how to get over that hump with.
Question,
yeah.
real quick before you go on. Urban Meyer, if he was the head coach of Notre Dame, would this score be this? Would Notre Dame would at least win one championship with the roster they've had with Brian Kelly?
Now that's a double answer. I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say no. They're not winning in the first 2 years. They're not winning the first 3 years. Period. But then again, yeah, if he gets a 5, 6, 7 year run here, yeah, they win a championship. But you're talking about Urban. You're talking about Urban is a recruiting. To me, he was one of the recruiting gurus of his time. And I think now, see, you go back to this. It goes back to wanting to play for someone. Do I want to play for Ohio State? Do I want to play for Alabama? Or do I want to play for Urban Myers? Because if you want to play for Urban Myers, you're going to go to Louisville, Notre Dame, Arizona State, Appalachian State, wherever Urban goes. And, you know, that's the recruiting difference. And I don't think that you know, he has it currently. Chip has it the same way he used to. I don't think he has the same pull he had in the early thousands. I think I think him switching to the NFL kind of exposed his coaching, and it changed a little bit of people, you know, a little bit of his pull. I honestly do.
Now, I will say this: Notre Dame, they get a lot of good recruits. I'm not saying they're not that, but it's harder to get the type of recruits that Alabama's get in the Ohio State because of the academic requirements and stuff like that. So that was one point. But I'm just saying Notre Dame as a full, their fan base, they're known for championships. They're known in the past. Their fan base wants to get back.
Correct.
But I know where you're going with this. The older fans who watch those old Notre Dame, they're starting older, and so like this young generation now is starting to become like my age. They don't remember those Notre Dame teams. They don't remember, and they remember the Alabama. So that's why Notre Dame needs to win a championship sooner rather than later, I think.
Yeah, definitely to keep that fire lit back underneath the fan base. I mean, and looking at this, is this really a testament to how bad Notre Dame is, or is this a testament to how dominant Nick Saban is?
No, it's Notre Dame. It's Brian Kelly. He can't win the big. I'm sorry. It's not just Alabama. He loses big games all the time. When it comes down to it, he doesn't win the big one when he has to.
Yeah,
they're 0-7 in big games. They're 0-7.
Well, like Jay said, I mean, are you going to want to go play for Alabama? All that, or are you going to go play for Urban Meyer? I mean, yeah, if Urban Meyer went to Notre Dame, they probably get a stud recruiting class, probably within a couple of years, But like Trey said, also, it's hard to get in Notre Dame. Their standards are high. So, I mean, it's not just the recruiting, it's the schools.
I want to touch on that one. Go back to that comment, the other one. Yes.
That one
Will, would you rather play for Dabo, Saban, or Urban? We should. Oh man, that's a topic I can go on all day. Yeah. Me personally, right now, it's Dabo Swinney. It's just for me personally, it's Dabo.
See, in the context of this conversation and the way that came up, that's the whole point of this, Will. I mean, and I agree with you. You come down and it's my turn to put my hat on at the podium, and I got those three to pick through. Why would I go? Even with me wanting to play with Urban, why would I go? If I have those other three on those other two hats on the table, Urban's the last on the list. Alabama, you got it.
It's tough between all three of them. I mean,
but let's be honest, guys. As a college, you're coming out of high school. You're going into college. You have those three hats on your desk. Okay, those are the three last teams you're picking through. You want to win a championship. That's your goal.
Yeah.
Saban's automatically number one.
Ew, just because he's been there longer.
Go to Alabama and you want to win a championship, Nick Saban has to be number one on your list. When's the last time he lost?
Alabama?
You know what I'm saying? Like, Alabama's there. They win championships every year. They go to the playoffs every year. Nick Saban has won how many championships?
5 with Alabama.
And when's the last time he's not made it to the playoffs?
Last year.
Well, yeah.
Okay. I actually thought he went there last year.
Yeah.
No, it was LSU, Ohio State. No, it was LSU, Oklahoma, Clemson, and Ohio State.
Yeah.
Okay.
But and that's very, very that's an oddball. I freaking slipped it, and it was last year. But
I get where you're going with it, though.
But the it's that reputation, like you said. The Notre Dame's fan base is looking for a championship because that's the reputation they used to have. They're trying to get back to that. Nick Saban has that. He's currently rolling with it.
Okay, we do that. I think we just got a topic for next week's episode.
Yeah, we sure do. All right, but yeah, in my case, I mean, yeah, Alabama did what they were supposed to. It all shows that Notre Dame should not have been there in the top 4. Texas, whoever could have filled in. So, Texas A&M, you know what I mean.
Thank you. And don't miss out those 2 schools.
Yeah, I know. I forgot the A&M part. So, all right, next slide there, Nate. All right. We got the Buckeyes over Clemson, 49-28. Jay, break it down because I know Mr. Trey is going to want the floor a little bit on this one.
This is not the Heisman winner. This game right here, to me, I mean, you showcase probably the best 2 college quarterbacks in the league against each other. And you end up coming out with 2 touchdowns to 6. I mean, I don't think Trevor could have won the Heisman after that. But this was a really good game. Hats off to you, humble pie on myself, Trey. Ohio State's good, and I said it the whole time. It wasn't about whether they were good or
not. There it is.
it wasn't about whether they were good or not. I knew they were a good team, but did they deserve to be there with other teams that didn't get to play? And yeah, you like I see you shake your head. Yeah, yes, they do. I mean, they proved it. And to me, Clemson came out firing. They both scored 14 in the first quarter. But that 21-point second quarter with no match, with no bark back that's what did it. And Justin just kept applying pressure. I mean, 6 passing touchdowns. I thought he was going to get a rushing touchdown. He almost eclipsed 50 yards there. He almost threw for over 400. So it was a really, really, really good game. I can't wait for this Alabama showdown.
Yep. All right, Trey. Let's hear it. I'm seeing reports that Wilson's higher than Field on draft boards.
I've been seeing that too, Will. I'm just looking at that, and what's the what is this? The CBS mock draft was updated just the other day. They got Wilson getting drafted by the Dolphins at number 3.
That's dumb. Oh, I'm not gonna talk about it. That's dumb.
All right, Trey. Let's hear it.
Yes, I sit here and brag and everything and say that Ohio State is probably the best 1 or 2 teams in the. I think I could, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not, because they still have one more hurdle, and that's against Alabama. And you pointed this out. This is a good game. Looked like Clemson was going to be untouchable in that first drive. They were clicking on all cylinders. What the difference was that second quarter, because they're even throughout the rest. The second quarter, that 21-0 second quarter, Justin Fields had a field day. And people don't understand how significant a targeting foul is in college football, and this is why this rule needs to be gone. It's causing gains. I'm not saying that Clemson would have won this game. I'm not saying that at all, but I've seen outcomes determined because of the stupid targeting, your disqualified rule, but that's a topic for another day. The reason I'm bringing that up is because they're all-American safety. Clemson's all-American safety was out the first half because of a targeting foul that he committed in the second half of the ACC championship game. And he wasn't in there, and you saw Justin. That's their leader on the defensive back side. That was their leader, and you saw Justin Fields nickeling just all over the field on him, and
he was tearing it up.
He had 6 touchdowns. So, but I will say this: that Clemson did not have their offensive coordinator there at all, calling the plays. I think that had a lot to do with it, play calling wise. They just couldn't get themselves going. Clemson didn't seem like they had a sense of urgency. Like they thought, we're going to come back and win this game. It's going to be a repeat of last year. And what I love about Ohio State was they didn't let their foot off the gas pedal. They just kept going and going and go. They didn't play conservative in the last 4 minutes of the game. They wanted that first down, passing the ball over the field. They didn't care the clock. They wanted to win that game, and I applaud Ohio State for that. But this Ohio State team is starting to remember the first year with Urban, the first year they had the college playoff, and Alabama was supposed to win the championship. And Ezekiel Elliott was running for 250 yards, 260 yards, ran right over Alabama. Trey Sermon, man, that guy is a beast. That guy had 193 yards on 31 carries. He only had 1 touchdown. But in the prior game, the Big Ten championship game, he had 330 yards rushing. 330 yards rushing in one game. That is a career for some of these college running backs. But I regress. It just seems like yes, and I agree with that. I can't remember his name, Skolaskis, whatever his name is. That's why I'm going to talk about this targeting thing real quick. This targeting thing, yes, they want to get it out of the game, and I understand that. But I want to see these officials and these rule coordinators go against Justin Fields and these guys who run 4.4, 4.3 40s at full speed, and they're trying to move their head, and the guy jukes and hits them in the run, and it's targeting. I want to see them go out and implement that and implement the rules. And why is a targeting foul more disheartening to a team than a taunting foul or or when you punch someone, you're not even ejected? But a targeting foul, one little mistake, you're out of the game. And then if you do it in the second half, you have to miss the whole first half, which is a stupid rule.
I got your answer for that. We're gonna say this to next week, so stay tuned, viewers. But The answer to that, real quick, is injury. The potential injury. That's it. But we'll save that ammo for next week.
I understand that, but so does other things cause injuries. Face masks cause injury. But we'll talk about that for another day. But Ohio State is starting to look like that team to me, that the Ezekiel Elliott team, when they ran over Alabama and won the first college football playoff. This team is starting to look scary. And don't sleep on Olave. I can't say his name. He had 132 yards, 2 touchdowns. And then another star receiver is going to be Williams. He had 3 catches for 62 yards. Those 2, and then the running game, and then you have Justin Fields who can run it too. And one thing Nick Saban does not do very well against is the mobile quarterback. We've seen it year after year. Nick Saban does not know how to defend a mobile quarterback. He does very poorly on that. So it's congratulations to Ohio State. Ohio State is proven to everyone that they should have been there. Now, part of it, I don't know if it was motivation because of last year they should have beat Clemson and they didn't. I think that had a lot to do with it. But and I also want to point on this real quick. Justin Fields, the way he continued that game after getting hit for that targeting foul, I guarantee, he couldn't even walk, and he still gutted it out and still threw for all those yards and had a fantastic game. I was yelling at the TV screen, you need to get him out of there for health reasons. The guy could barely even throw without wincing or anything or crying. So congratulate Justin Fields is a beast, and I think he solidified himself as honestly, I wouldn't even be upset if they take him number 1 overall right now, the way he balled out. But he did have that bad game against Northwestern. You don't know what you're going to get out of Justin Fields weekend. So if I'm the Jets, I might be looking at Justin Fields a lot differently than I was a couple of weeks ago. I'm just saying that.
Yeah, for me, it's always good to see the Big Ten win. Living up here in Big Ten country. So, am I happy Ohio State won? No, not really, but I do believe they belong there. Even though only 6 games played, but again, you can't fault the team, the players. They wanted to play every game. So, but with that being said, let's move on to the championship game.
Man,
there it is. All right, Jay, go ahead. You got it.
So, it's simple. The offenses on both sides are stacked. It's premier matchups at all the premier positions. We got Justin Fields going up against Mac. We got Sermon going up against Harris. We got and the other thing that's kind of cool about this, besides the superhuman Devontae Smith on Alabama, they got Mechie, which he's filling in because of Waddle being he's came throughout the year. And then Ohio State, to me, they have their talent split up between a couple of receivers this year, Wilson and then Clave. So when you look at that, they got 40 receptions apiece. They both got 600 yards, 5 touchdowns to 7. So the balance on the actual reception side, Ohio State side, is going to be even. So I'm really this is going to be a draft stock game. We got Justin trying to drive. Like you were just saying, I would really look at Justin Fields if I was Miami, or even New York if they have an opportunity. But especially if he does good in this game and keeps it close, or goes down to the wire, or he somehow pulls it out and wins it, which I don't think they'll beat Alabama. It is going to be a really good game. Do you think your boys are going to pull it out, honestly?
They have a chance. I don't see anyone stopping Trey Sermon. I don't see anyone stopping Justin Fields. I honestly don't. Like I said, Nick Saban has problems with the mobilized quarterback ever since Johnny Manziel, ever since Trevor Lawrence, Deshaun Watson. He has not figured out how to defend these guys. And that's why this great Alabama defense, every time they get to a championship game, it's always like a 49-42 game. It's always whoever has the ball last and whoever doesn't make a mistake. Now, if Trey Sermon runs like he has been, like Ezekiel Elliott was 4 years ago, then heck yeah, I'll give Ohio State a chance. I think it's 50-50. I don't know what honestly, it all depends on Ohio State's defense. What Ohio State's defense is going to show up. Are we going to see the one from Michigan State, Northwestern, and even Clemson, the way they showed out? Or are we going to see the ones against Indiana and the other ones that Ohio State's defense is too in which I mean that's the question mark right there. Ohio State's defense. That if they come out and show, I'll pick them to win. But if they don't, the Mac Jones and Smith, and if Waddle comes back, he's not going to be a big factor, but he'll be enough of a decoy to help out and give Devontae Smith even more. He's going to have an impact. I think he'll have a great impact. But being out that long, he's not going to be the Waddle that we all know and seen in the past. But if they get, I mean, it's going to be a game, man. It's always like this in the NCAA. You always get these blowouts in the semifinals, and then the national championship game is really, really close. So we'll see.
Tell you what, you don't want to get in a shootout because I go back to that Florida game, and Florida was banging with them, and when I look at that box score of that game on the Alabama side, Harris had 180 yards rushing on 31 carries. Okay, but on the flip side, Smith had 15 receptions and 184 yards receiving. So when you get into a shootout with them, it's going to be dangerous because towards the end of that fourth quarter, when you're worn down, Najee, that boy, Harris, man, he's a downhill runner.
Oh, my God. I got to say something about Najee. Did you see that leap that he did?
Yes.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes.
About that team, they're so explosive, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, like you said, Smith's the best receiver in the league, but Olive, man, that guy's a stud too. The way he's the second best receiver I've seen out of Ohio State. He might even eclipse Thomas over number one, the receiver for the Saints right now. This guy, if you watch his route running and the way he catches the ball, this dude is elite. Trust me.
All right. So let's break it down a little bit. If Alabama, let's kind of take each side a little bit here. So if Alabama was to win, what would they have to do? And if Alabama was to lose, what would be the weakness that causes them to lose? I'll start with Trey.
For Alabama to win, they cannot turn the ball over, and they have to. And they have. Honestly, that's all Alabama has to do is not turn the ball over, and they need to contain, not stop Fields, but they got to contain them to a mediocre game. That's the way they can win. For them to lose it, their defense is just like Ohio State. What defense are you can give for Alabama? Remember, this Alabama defense that everyone says is so good gave up what 45, 46 points to Florida, and also gave up over 40 points to Ole Miss. And I mean, I'm just saying this Alabama defense, they're still good, but they're not the same Alabama defense as you've seen in years past. And we always see this with a Nick Saban mobilized quarterback. They don't know, like they're too worried about the mobilization of Justin running quarterbacks, and they always bust coverage in the back end and everything like that. So Ohio State is run first. If they contain the run and don't have to bring those extra the safeties up, then they're going to have a pretty good day. But if they're not going to contain Sermon, then it's lights out, man. I'm telling you right now, Ohio State will win this game, but they don't do those three things.
All right, Jay, how about you on the Ohio State side? What do you see them winning? How are they going to win? And if they were to lose, what would cause them to lose the game?
It's kind of on both sides on this one. So win the game, they can't let Harris and Smith have a field day. It got to be one or the other for them to have a chance. If they're both going like an oil machine that they are, they're going to be unstoppable, and that's what we've been seeing this year. You know, when one's going and or one's starting off slow, the other one's going, and then the other one gets to going because they move the defense. So that's going to be their key to win is not letting them both go off. Pick one and just ride that wave. On the opposite side, to lose, Devontae Smith, if he catches for over 200 yards, I don't see them. If he goes for 200 again, and I don't see them. I don't see it happening. I don't care what the box score says. I just don't see it. So I would say, to lose is letting Devontae Smith go over 200 yards. I think that's a cap.
Okay. You guys make great points on both sides of the ball there. So before we move on, final prediction: who you guys got and the score? Jay, we'll start with you.
I got Alabama. 38.
Of course you do. Of course you do.
What was the score? 30 what?
38-42.
Ooh. All right. Jay. Or Trey. Yeah, Jay. No, Trey. I don't know why I get you guys messed up all the time. All right. Trey, what do you got?
This ain't gonna be a low scoring game. It's not gonna it's gonna come down. It's gonna come down to who stops who, whoever the ball lasts. I'm actually gonna pick Ohio State to pull the upset 49-42. No, 49-45.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna ride the Ohio State team. But yeah, it's gonna be high scoring.
Well, because you're a big team.
I would. Yeah, I like Alabama though too, but I just think Ohio State's gonna. It's gonna be high scoring, and like Trey said, who's ever got the ball last, if they can stop them, will probably win the game. Yeah, this game's probably. It would shock me if it doesn't hit 50. Somebody hits 50. So, but I got Ohio State winning by a touchdown. So, all right, next slide, please, Nate. Oh, all right. So we're in the top 10. I think this is one of our final topics. So, Jay, what do you think about the top 10 right now in basketball?
So what I'm looking at right now, Gonzaga, they're going to have a stronghold. They're going to ride that top 2 spot pretty much the whole season. The only 2 even teams in their conference that mean anything, St. Mary's, San Francisco, they have a chance for a Cinderella entrance into the tourney later on, possibly, if they can catch a little bit more. I mean, outside of that, I mean, you just look at the top 10 and look at what's in their division. I mean, Iowa's dealing with 6 teams that are ranked in their division. So it's going to be hard for them to stay in that top 5 area. Their strength of schedule should help them out a little bit. And then you got Baylor. Baylor's another team. They got 5 other teams ranked in their division. So once we get into these conference, these divisional games, I don't see Baylor staying in the top 3. I think your boys Texas might be able to swiggle around up in there, but Villanova and Gonzaga are definitely going to run with it up to the tourney in that top 2 area.
Ooh.
All right, Trey. So what is going on over there?
I'm not laughing at Jay, but I'm just laughing at how we spelled Iowa. I'm sorry.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Oh.
I thought it was my dyslexia. I'm like, dang, am I that bad?
I didn't even see that right away. But yeah,
I didn't know it's either until Jay said Iowa. I'm like, what? Who's that? I'm like, okay. Oh, no need to fix it now, man. That's good. Oh, you're right about Gonzaga. No one's going to defeat them in the conference. St. Mary's, they always play good until they play Gonzaga in the last game, and then they don't do anything. I don't trust St. Mary's to save my life. Baylor, they're number 2 right now, but that team, if you actually watch Baylor play, they're actually if they're not hitting their shots, they're not a good team. I mean, I'm sorry, they're really not. They struggled this Saturday because they were making shots, and then whenever they start playing Kansas and Texas Tech and Texas, and I'm just telling you, man, the Baylor's probably gonna get out of the top 5. And whoever wins the Big 12 championship tournament is going to get the the other number 1 seed. Now, I will say this about Villanova. You said Villanova and Gonzaga are going to make their way. Villanova and Texas play each other already, and Villanova only beat them by 3 points. So they're pretty much evenly matched. And I was never a big fan of Shaka Smart coming to Texas, but the way he has his team rolling right now, this is the two things in the NCAA that does well, that's why majors are doing so well, is upperclassmen and guard play. Texas has two guards, one guard who's been the point guard for them for 4 years, and you're seeing him finesse in the system. And I'm telling you, man, Texas, they're athletic. They run the ball. They're long in length. They remind me a little bit like the Lakers in the NBA. Like every pass is contested. They're long. They deflect a lot of passes. This team is for real. That defense, there's tall. And then you have Ramey, whatever his freaking name is, hitting threes. This Texas team has sharpshooters on their team, and they could easily make a Final Four. But a dark horse to me, and Kansas shouldn't even be in the top 10. Kansas has way too many insufficiencies for me. Basically, they have no rim protection. They have no big men in the middle. They can't guard the paint to save their lives, and Texas exposed them with that as well. They're not very good on the defensive end. Just remember this: Texas beat Kansas in Kansas and tied them for the most. Tied the most win margin. They beat them by 25 points in Lawrence. This Texas team is for real. So let's get that out of the way. Tennessee, even though they lost Saturday to Alabama, Tennessee is a team. Rick Barnes has that team in a pretty good spot right now. They're the best team in the SEC. They're very good in defensive end. They got upperclassmen as well. That's a team that might be a sneaky pick coming up in the make a big run. But Iowa, it all comes down to Luka. He's got to have to carry that team. Who's that other stud player that they had that didn't play Saturday? That's why they lost. Forgot his name.
But see, the thing about Iowa is there's too many. That division is tough. You're talking about the big team. Michigan ranked 10th. Illinois is ranked 12th. Wisconsin ranked 8th. Michigan State 23rd. Rutgers 15th. Minnesota 16th.
Yeah, that's what I was getting to.
That's too. That's a rigged. I mean, I'll tell you what. Look at the pack. The pack where they're rolling right now. They're not getting any notoriety, but USC, UCLA, Arizona State, Arizona, and Oregon, which is ranked 17th, they're all looking pretty nice as well. But I do agree with you about Baylor. Baylor's been like this to me every single year. That's why they always die around the the Elite Eight. Yeah. Elite 8, Sweet 16 area. They start to fumble and start to get, them diehard moments in because they live by the 3 and die by the 3 way too much. And Texas, like you said, they got a little bit more of that in and out game to them, which is, it goes a long way, especially when you get inside that tourney. But if we're talking about just the regular season play leading up to, I do think Iowa might even slip to around 9th, 10th area, maybe even 13th through 15th, just because of that division. That division is just so tough. But again, getting into that tournament play, Luka, that size, that length, that him being able to extend the range the way he does, those teams that, like you were saying with Texas the same way, those type of teams are going to be dangerous, man. Really, really dangerous once you get into that tourney play. Yeah. I mean, look what happened to Greg Oden.
Yeah.
He got into a tourney and turned himself into a number 1 pick. So
and not playing anymore.
Yeah, but that inside out in college, man, that inside game in the tournament really goes a long way. So that Baylor team,
you forgot one team. I don't know if you said them or not. Rutgers.
Yes.
Yep.
Rutgers, man. I watched them play Iowa. Oh my gosh.
They were putting up
that team's for real. That team, maybe elite, maybe a 3 seed, maybe a 2 seed. But right now I see Iowa as a 2 seed. As it stands packed, the winner of the Big 12 is going to get a 1 seed. Villanova is going to get a 1 seed. Gonzaga is going to get a 1 seed. Iowa, like you said, that conference is stacked. They have Wisconsin at number 8, Michigan at number 10, Illinois at 12, Rutgers at 15, Minnesota at 16. I mean, Virginia Tech. Not Virginia Tech. I'm sorry.
No, you still got Michigan.
Yeah, I was starting to Michigan State. That's the one I was looking at. Sorry. But
it's just and then looking at Baylor, bro, like I like what you were describing with Texas. I like what you were describing with Texas. I like the way, that they were saying, but that's still a hard one too. You got West Virginia, Texas Tech,
But
Kansas.
West Virginia is like Baylor. If they're not hitting their threes, they're done. I mean, I'm sorry, they are.
But that's also a dangerous part. It
is
fire.
But I'm telling you, so what conference are you taking as the best conference right now in college basketball? I can't believe I'm even mentioning this conference. Big 10 or Big 12, man. Come on.
I would say Big 10 right now.
I would too.
Right now because I like Iowa really, really, really tough. I really do. I told you that since the jump. I really like the way Luka's playing. I think that he's going to get better. He's been getting better every week. So by the time they get to tournament play, that they're going to be really tough. And then, you got, like you just mentioned, Rutgers. Rutgers looks really nice. And then you just got that pedigree. You got Michigan State, you got Michigan, you got Wisconsin. They're always tough. Illinois and Minnesota, they're sometimes, but right now they're really tough. So I really like that conference, and for them to be 7 deep in the top 25 already, and we're really just getting started. Yeah, I like that conference.
Well, but they do this every year, though. They always hype up the Big Ten, and then when it comes down to late in the season tournament play, there's always 1 or 2 in the Big Ten in the top 10, and there might be 3 in the a third team in the bottom half, and then everybody else sitting out. So,
but that's let's be. You can't have 9 Big Ten people.
Well, no.
So
no.
and they're playing each other. They're playing each other. They're gonna weed each other out.
Oh yeah.
But I just conference right now.
Yeah. Oh no, I could agree with that. So what's up with the Duke Blue Devils? I mean, down there towards the bottom, are they just off this year, or not getting the recruits, or
what's going on with them is COVID? They're not playing
games.
Okay. They canceled all their non-conference games, so they're just playing conference games. And let's just be honest with ourselves. Duke is not the same. This team's not as good as it. The only reason Duke's at 20 is because of Mike Krzyzewski and the name Duke on it.
Okay.
Let's just be honest with ourselves. They're not going to contend for a championship. Same thing with North Carolina. North Carolina is down. I think the ACC in whole is down this year. But I love Duke. Duke's my team, but they're not going to do anything this year.
Okay. Yeah, I was kind of just looking through the rankings, and that team, and like you said, North Carolina both kind of popped me seeing that they're ranked down so low. So, but
see, North Carolina, Roy Williams always does this. He wins the championship, and then his teams go down for whatever. Remember last year, they weren't even going to make the tournament until COVID happened and stopped all play. They weren't even going to make the tournament. Yep. He does this every year. They win the championship, and then he loses all of his stud power, and then he has to rebuild. But see, that's a problem now. That's a problem now with the NCAA. It's that one and done rule where all these players are not going to be staying in college for 3 or 4 years. That's why all the best players are going to these other programs. And yes, North Carolina can get a lot of those guys, but that's not what Roy Williams likes to teach and coach and bring them up to higher. And that's when they win the championships, when they have the senior class and the junior class. Yep. And then you're not getting that right now in North Carolina.
Well, I think that's the same thing that you see. You mentioned it pretty recently about the Duke thing.
Mm-hmm.
COVID, a lot of that's being smart on who to even take a year of eligibility away. Because remember, at the start of this, they were unsure if the eligibility was going to count towards them or not this year. So I think that has something to do with it. And then also, I mean, look at Kentucky. Another team, the one and done kingdom. And it's going to be, this goes back to our Saban conversation and our Urban Meyer's conversation. If you look at those 2 squads that we just mentioned, Duke and Kentucky, their recruiting classes, they're either the top and they perform like the top, or you get a couple of duds. There's some guys that were supposed to be in and didn't perform. And I think this year, Kentucky, they got some really, really young, athletic, ungroomed basketball players. They're not a bad team. They just don't know how to play yet.
Unless they win the conference championship, they're not getting in the tournament.
No, I don't think. Yeah, but they're not a bad team. I don't know if you've watched them.
I have. They're very young. Like, I know Calipari's teams are always young, but this team just seems a lot younger than
way younger. They seem like they're all a year younger.
Yeah, like they're still junior in high school, kind of young. But I will say this: I think you're starting to see the end of the one and done in the next couple of years. I think you're gonna go. What the reason I'm saying that the G League is gonna come up. And they're going to allow these players out of high school to come in the G League, and that's going to take a lot of these one and dones away, I think.
All right. I agree, but I'm going to add an asterisk on it. And my asterisk is going to be we're also going to see a lot of players stuck in the G League. Because what's going to happen is a lot of players are going to think they're way more talented than they were, and they would have been better suited for a college team that one year than going to the G League. Because you got to remember, you go to the G League, you're pretty much professional at that point. Because yes, correct. So you're not putting in those minutes. These guys are getting paid for real based off their winning and their time in the game. You got players playing two-way contracts that are actually in the NBA. It's going to be really interesting. I think 3 years from now, maybe we'll start seeing more two and dones in college than one and dones, and a little bit more impact of what, college basketball used to be to the NBA.
Yeah. So, going on, I don't think we have any more slides, but I just saw, and I think you guys actually saw too, the tournament is going to be held in Indiana for the whole thing. Jay, what are your thoughts on that? Does it help them?
Who? Basketball players?
The whole tournament.
We're gonna see the best.
Is it,
we're gonna see the best tournament ever. These guys are gonna watch the games. These guys are gonna scout the games. These guys are gonna live basketball in one area. We're gonna see the best tournament ever.
Trey?
Oh, I hate doing this, but I agree with Jay. I'm just glad that they're talking reasonable. I'm just glad they came to the conclusion that we're going to be playing the tournament. I think the NBA helped with that with doing the bubble last year and saw how successful it was. Just keeping it close contact, not leaving the bubble and everything like that. But yeah, you're going to see these kids, these coaches scout. And talk about Indiana, man, I'm just glad that they're doing this because last year was pretty much, it was awful. Because here I am getting ready to fill out my bracket, and then boom, they shut it off. And I'm like, what the heck am I doing for the next 6 months? But anyway, it's going to be fun. And man, if they allow fans at these games, a little bit of fans like they've been doing, man, can you imagine basketball from like 9 a.m. to 1 in the morning?
Oh, yeah.
Oh gosh, I would love it, man. I always loved March Madness, the first round and second round, because it always on a Thursday and it was always on my spring break. And I just sit back, get my chips ready, everything. I just get fat, and I'm basketball 11 a.m. till 12 p.m. or 12 a.m. at night. And you're not watching basketball? Heck no! Sign me up again tomorrow. Let's do it. So, I love March Madness, and we're starting to see a lot of. I feel like we're getting equality too in teams. We're not just seeing the Kentuckys and the Dukes and the Kansases of North Carolina. We're actually seeing like Gonzaga, Villanova won a championship a couple of years ago. You're seeing 16s beat 1 seeds. You're seeing these miracle runs. Wichita State's making runs down. So it's starting to become even more competitive than what it has been in the past, and that's a great thing for college basketball.
Definitely.
Yes, it is. So, is it too early, or do you guys have a Final Four kind of set? I mean, what do you guys think? I think it's too early.
I could do a Final Four, but I want a subject to change throughout the season.
Oh, yeah.
right now, let's just say this. If right now the season ended, you're going to have Gonzaga number 1.
Yep.
Just because Baylor hasn't lost a game, you have to put Baylor at number 2. or the same a 1 seed as well. You got I think Baylor will get in the Final Four. Oh wait, no, we're doing Final Four. No, I have Gonzaga, Villanova. Oh man, I hate doing this because I'm going to jinx. I'm going to put Texas in there, and then Tennessee.
Okay. Jay?
So if we're doing a Final Four, I will put in Villanova and Gonzaga because I think Villanova will move up to the 2nd seed.
Yep.
And I will put in Iowa. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say Wisconsin somehow makes it in there.
Oh,
Wisconsin
got 2 Big Ten.
You don't want Wisconsin to be a top seed, though, man. They always choke, man. They always choke in games. They should have won a championship with Frank Kowinski, whatever his stinking name was, and they choked.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you got Gonzaga, Villanova for sure. I mean Baylor, Iowa. I think you guys named every team that has a good chance of making it. Michigan,
Creighton, they get hot. Creighton's a good team.
See, but I think if Creighton goes, Villanova don't make it.
I know. I know. I'm just watch out for Creighton. Just watch out for Creighton. They could easily.
Yeah, no, I agree, but that's why I didn't put them in there because I really like Creighton's team. They have a nice squad, but I don't think.
Why would they get in? Well, why? You don't know what side of the bracket they're going to be on.
Well, that's another thing too. We don't know the size of brackets and layouts yet. So, but yeah.
Well, you can't do that because you don't know how they're going to be seated and everything. Like, it could be on the other side of the bracket, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. All right. So as we wrap it up, let's do the shirt ad again. Trey, take us away. How do they get the free shirt?
Man, if you want that awesome shirt right there, all you got to do is watch our show, watch any show on the All Sports All Play Network, comment on our show, and then whoever gets the most comments at the end of the month, you will get that awesome All Sports All Plays Network T-shirt. And if you don't want to be part of the show, if you're kind of shy or you just don't want to put your input or whatever the case may be, you can always contact one of our analysts and we can get it for you. I know it says $25 right there, but we can get it to you for $14 right now. That's plus shipping and handling. So go get yourself a T-shirt.
All right. Any final thoughts from you guys on what we can expect this week in basketball, football, or any college sports? Jay, what do you got?
Man, I cannot hear what you have said. It was cutting out. I don't know what you said.
Yeah, you are kind of cutting out. So, Trey, any final thoughts on what we can expect this week?
What we can you said for Trey. I did hear that. So I'm going to answer real quick. Tomorrow, guys, tune in as you're truly the other half.
Yeah, bye. Okay.
Yeah, he's cutting out. Thank you. All right. All right. So what do you got for us, Trey?
By the time you see us next week, we have an NCAA football champion. That would be Ohio State. Mark that down. And I'm here to predict to you Gonzaga will have a loss coming in by next week.
Ooh. All right. Yeah. So for me, it's Ohio State. I think I could probably see 1 and 2 both getting losses this week. I don't know what the schedules look like, but I kind of hope to see my Gophers keep climbing that ladder a little bit. They had some impressive games this past week. Lost a big one to Wisconsin, I believe it was, but they beat a couple other big powerhouses, so that was good. All right, with that being said, I don't think we're going to get Jay back before we leave, so check us tomorrow, Sports Minute, with Ace, J-Mac, Vic, and Will. And then I believe Thursday we are having another one of our awesome debates. Trey versus the delusional one, Freddie. No?
Jay.
No, Jay. I'm sorry. Sorry, Jay. Yes, Jay versus the delusional Freddie. My money's on Jay. So, I don't know. What about you, Trey? What do you think?
Oh, my money's on Jay. Got to represent Jock Talk, baby.
Yes,
Jay.
exactly. And then I think there's Real Talk also on Thursday too. I don't know if that's gonna have the debate or if we're having a different show for that. So stay tuned to the All Sports All Play Network to find out when those shows will be. For Jay, Trey, myself, Brandon, Nate, thank you for doing what you're doing on the back end. Well, I'll see you all next week. Have a good week.
Peace.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. Great eye in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, never the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace up the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. Network. All sports, all plays. Network. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.